This is a clear way to make consistent progress toward the life you want without falling off or sinking back into the depressing yearly cycle that we go through but somehow get some high off of at the end of the year every single time. I know I'm talking spicy. Let's get into it.
You're listening to the Build Your Vision podcast, a podcast series about maneuvering the ups and downs of building a life that you're proud of, captured in real time. A community where dreamers become doers and doers become world changers. Let's go.
At the time of this recording, guys, there are 34 days left in 2024. So, of course, this means that people are casting vision, writing down new goals, and of course, picking up old goals that they dropped somewhere along the way throughout the year so that they can end 2024 and start 2025 on a high note. And this is what I'm finding what the internet calls, they gave it a name, the winter arc. Has anybody else heard of this? I'm just now finding out. I guess I'm late or old, I don't know. But it's this trend on social media where people are talking about the winter arc. And I'm like, what is the winter? So I started doing some research, right? Because someone told me about it. I'm like, this is fascinating. Apparently, the winter arc is a challenge to get your life together, essentially, before the end of the year, so that when January 1st comes around, you are already ahead of the 8 ball. So basically, it's just your normal get your life together social media flex stuff 2 months early. It's pretty much what it is, right? So you could be ahead of the game or whatever. It's the winter arc, right? And this is trending on social media to the point that it was on Good Morning America, guys. They're talking about it on Good Morning America. And I'm like, am I hearing this correctly? And I watched these YouTubers, I watched their TikTok videos, and they are dead serious talking about this stuff. And y'all, when I saw it, I was hot. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, I was very actually upset because I'm like, these people are leading an entire generation astray right now with this winter arc stuff. And it's honestly, it's idiotic to me. And if you didn't know, if I ever had a opinion, I would never say it out loud, right? I'm a very opinionated person. So I have no shame in my game when I say these types of strong words. I think it's idiotic, and I'm going to tell you why. We all know this does not work. It doesn't. We do it every single year, but we hold on to the false hope that this year will be different. Now, remember, the winter arc is so that you're ahead of the curve so that when January 1st rolls around, you're already on top of your game, right? So it's not just about finishing the year. It's about setting yourself up for the new year. But we know that sprints for goals hardly ever work, but yet we keep doing this cycle over and over again. So if you want to actually have consistent change in your life, consistent change in your life, I'm going to share with you on this call 3 things that have made me a more confident, consistent individual when it comes to building my vision, or how you can build your vision. And I'm probably 98% sure. Now, some of you who are in my community visionpreneur school might have heard about this because I've said it before, but I'm pretty sure 98% of you have not heard about the 3rd thing that I'm going to share. And here's the proof in the pudding, guys. Just so y'all know, I'm not talking out my behind. Vision support has been going on for over a year now. And I did the math. We've had 73 consecutive weeks of vision support. 73 consecutive weeks. I have canceled or pre-recorded a video due to either a holiday, the day fell on a holiday, or because of travel, an entirety of 3 times out of 73 weeks. So when it comes to showing up consistently, it's not something I haven't done before. This is a clear way to make consistent progress toward the life you want without falling off or sinking back into the depressing yearly cycle that we go through but somehow get some high off of at the end of the year every single time. I know I'm talking spicy. Let's get into it. Number one, the calendar does not bend reality. Yes, I'm talking about the Gregorian calendar of the West, 12 months out of the year, named after the different gods of the Greco Roman Empire. Yes. Literally, December 31st is no different in your life than January 1st. It's not. Now, the numbers change, the names change. It's the same life, the same you. You have not transformed. And I know you guys know this. For anybody that's watching this, I'm pretty sure you know this. You wouldn't be watching this type of video if you weren't a smart person that knows this. But here's the other thing, goals, and it's okay if you disagree with me. I'm perfectly okay with hearing this. Goals aren't real. We make them up, just how we made up the calendar. It's a construct so that we can all agree and work in unison. That's all it is. It's the same thing with money, same thing with debt. It's all constructs so that we can all agree and have a civilized society. Goals are arbitrary. You pull them out of thin air. You make them up. How much weight do you want to lose? There's no, there's nothing determining how much weight you should lose. You make up something. How much money do you want to make? You make up a goal. You make it up. You make it up. So when it comes to setting goals and having deadlines, the calendar is not a true deadline. A goal is not a true deadline. It's something that you make up. Just want to lay this foundation. It's a standard for what I'm about to share with you. So all these things are within your control. The year coming down to an end is not something bearing down on you. You can make choices starting right now and keep making choices going through the end of the year into the next year. It literally is all made up. Number two, I'm sure some of you have heard of the be, do, have model. Essentially, what the be, do, have model is, it means you have to become the person who can do the thing in order to have the result. Become so you can do so that you can have. And we know lots of people try to skirt around this process. They try to have the thing before they can even do it, or they try to do the thing before they become the person who could do the thing. But I'm going to add something. I'm going to put an amendment to this model that I think is actually more accurate. It is have, do, be, do, have. Have, do, be, do, have. Now, why am I adding this have, do onto the beginning of this? Because if we start with becoming, we become the person who can do a thing. We actually don't become a person who can do the thing, because the thing that you are aspiring to do has a standard of excellence that you most likely, because you haven't become the person who could do it yet, cannot reach yet. You have an idea of what you want to do and how you want it to look and how you want it to perform and how many views you want it to get in, how many things you want to sell and all these different things, how much impact you want to make. That's the doing that you're thinking about. I want to do this thing at this level. But if you just become the person who could do the thing, when you finally become that person, you're not going to be able to do the thing at the level you need to do it at in order to have the results that you desire. So to make this an example, let's just talk about social media since we're talking about social media, right? I first need to become the person who posts on social media. And when you finally become the person who posts on social media, you're doing the thing of posting. So you've done be and do, right? But most likely, if you're just starting, you're not getting that much traction on your social media. It's because you have not become the person who can do the thing at the level you desire to do it in order to have the results that you desire to have. So actually a better way of processing this is to have a desire first, then do the thing that helps you become the person who can do the thing at the level that you want to do it, so you actually have the results that you desire. And this is going to make more sense when I get to point 3 that I said most people probably haven't heard of. Have, do, be. Have the desire, do the thing, become the person who can do the thing at the level that you actually desire to do it, then you will have the result that you are looking for. I know this might be a little high concept here, but please stick with me on this. Number three, this is what I live by. And this is what I call the anti winter arc. It's called the just clause. The just clause is a phrase or sentence that starts with, it's just. And I got this concept actually from watching a podcast years ago. It was a Joe Rogan podcast. I don't know how many of you guys have watched Joe Rogan. Most of you here that are watching live might not fall in that demographic. I think he's an interesting guy that asks great questions. And I'm actually going to show you this clip to see where I got this origin from, because it's actually not about doing your best. It's about doing what you can do over a consistent period of time. Watch this video really quickly.
Let's say I make you do pull-ups, and let's say the maximum amount of pull-ups you can do. The maximum amount of pull-ups is 10. Let's keep a nice round number. At 11, you couldn't do 11. If I pointed a gun at you, you couldn't do 11. Should I make you do 10 pull-ups on our workout? No. I'm going to make you do 5. Why? Because I'm setting you up to work the next day. The next day we're going to do 5. And the next day we're going to do another 5. And then we're going to do 6. When 6 is really easy, we're going to do 7. Why? If you count, if you did 10 pull-ups on Monday, you're going to be sore till Thursday. Let's say it's really your max. So Thursday, you've only done 10 pull-ups. From Monday to Thursday, you've only done 10 pull-ups. Me, I've been doing 5 pull-ups every day. So I'm at 20 pull-ups already, 25 pull-ups. I have more volume than you. Now, if you add up at the end of the year, who trained more? I've trained way more than you. So let's say I go to jiu-jitsu practice. I'm doing jiu-jitsu every single day, 3 rounds, 5 days a week. That's 15 rounds. You go in twice a week, but you kill yourself. You do 5 rounds each day. You push yourself those last 2 rounds, you burn yourself out. I still did 15. You're at 10. At the end of the year, I've done countless rounds. I mean, I've had so much more training.
Okay. So do you guys understand this concept that he's talking about? It's called, I believe it's called like perceived exertion. This is a compound effect. So instead of what the winter arc, pushing yourself to reach this thing by the end of the year, because the end of the year is closing, which is literally made up. Instead, you can insert a just clause for the inputs that you choose to have. These are inputs versus goals, because once again, goals are made up. And you can't control outcomes regardless. You can only control inputs. So the just clause, it's just 5 push-ups a day. It's just $100 in savings a month. It's just 1 page a day. It's just 3 bottles of water a day. It's just whatever it is. The point of a just clause is for it to be so doable that it is utterly ridiculous to you not to get it over with. Why not do it? Let's just get it over with, because it's so doable. I might as well do it. And here's the thing about that. When it's so doable, you often do more than you said you were going to do. It's just 5 push-ups. But you end up usually doing 10. And then when you could do 10, you do 10. But now, because you've been doing 10, and it's just 10, you do 20. And you do it every single time. You show up because it's just 5 a day. If you add this up over the course of a year, who do you think is going to have more progress? Who do you think is going to have more consistency? And who do you think is going to have the mental advantage of more confidence because they stuck to the word that they gave themselves at the end of the year? The person with the winter arc or the person with the just clause, or what I call the anti-winter arc? We do this every year. My goal is for vision entrepreneurs not to fall into the trap. It's just blank. The just clause. A gentleman named Bruce Lee. He says, I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced 1 kick 10,000 times. There's also a pretty popular story, and I might be screwing it up a little bit, but essentially the concept and principle remains the same. There's a photography class. This is a test. This is a case study that's being done by some scientists. Half of the class is told that they have a final project due at the end of the semester for the photography class. And they have to turn in that final project, their masterpiece, for the photography class, and it's a pass or fail exam. The second group, second half of the students are told they have to turn in their photography every single week over the course of the semester. And then they'll be graded on those entries throughout the semester. They noticed by the end of the semester that there was not even close. It was such a stark difference between the quality of the photography of those who made one once a week for the class and those who just prepared for the final exam. And this is what they talked about, Malcolm Gladwell talks about the 10,000 hour rule, and I forgot all the other terminologies they have for this, but it shows that constant repetition, even though maybe not the quality that you think it should be, actually yields more results than the opposite. These are all different things, the quotes, what they're talking about with PRE of perceived exertion and the photography class model case study, showing that sprints for arbitrary goals that are constructs don't work over extended periods of time and lead to poorer quality results. It is my admonition to you to adopt the anti-winter arc. Do not fall into this social media trend that is really a flex of I'm getting my life together 2 months early. This is a side note. You didn't ask for this, is a digression, but all human desire is pretty much categorized into two things. It's status and association. And this is because we're all seeking safety in some type of way. Status means, I get to be seen in a certain light above other people. And association means I am not set apart. I am a part of, I have community and I have safety. I have tribalism. Pretty much all human desires are pursuing one of those two things. The winter arc is a status pursuit. Don't get sucked into this. Actually get real freaking results in your life. The chat's quiet. That's okay. But here's the fourth thing that I want to share with you. Everything that I said today still won't work. The just clause, all of that, if you don't find your why. If you are doing what you're doing for the wrong reasons, you'll never stick to it no matter how easy it is. This is why I harp on getting clarity, finding your why, getting clear, getting consistent, all these different things. So much, because if you put your ladder on the raw wall, it doesn't matter how well you could climb. You still won't do it. So get clear on what that thing is for you so that sticking with it is a pursuit of life, not pursuit to a goal that you made up. If you want to find your why, you haven't done it yet, and if you're watching this on replay or out on the interwebs, I have a free class that teaches you how to do it. It's in my online community called Visionpreneur School. It's for a community, a home for visionaries who want to make impact and income with their ideas, insights, and influence, but are looking for more clarity. There's tons of classes in there that you could take part of. The community is amazing. Finding like-minded people who are trying to do the same things you are for the kingdom of God. It's awesome. I advise you get into it. It's free. I don't see why you wouldn't, because it costs you nothing. You can access it at buildyourvisionpodcast.com/community or just click the link in the description. At the end of the day, guys, the anti-winter arc is about winning the marathon by executing achievable inputs over a long period of time. Not sprinting hard for a goal that doesn't even really exist. Incorporate the anti-winter arc or the just clause in your life, and I guarantee you will have better results than if you hop on any form of this trend in the long game. And that's the only game you should be trying to play.